Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, so let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. Now, talking about a dive, the market did do a little bit of one today. I've been addressing to you guys the 22 to 24K area on Bitcoin, and I actually do believe that we will go lower, and I'm actually going to be talking to you guys a little bit about this. But I just want to ask everybody, how are you all doing? How are you all feeling? I know that this market could get frustrating at times. I know that it could get very hard at times to really kind of just be patient, buy the dip and things like that. I know that things can get rough out there, and I want you guys to understand that it is all good. These things usually do pass in time. These things, we will get past these things. Similar to like the March of 2020 drop and things like that in the past, we have gotten through them. And I actually want to share with you guys, in terms of this market right now, a lot of these major capitulation events in this market have led us to some incredible generational bottoms. And the reason why I bring up generational bottoms and stuff like that is when we really kind of look at this market and we talk about like zooming out, for example. I know that that gets so frustrating to hear. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. We always hear zoom out. It gets annoying, but it's ultimately the truth. When we look at the longevity of this market, and we're sitting at like roughly, $964.8 billion in market cap for the entire crypto market, it is laughable. I laugh at that price because I know that the long-term view on crypto, our market cap is going to be much larger than that. In fact, I have always said that our market cap will, hit $10 trillion plus in time, and even $100 trillion by 2030 plus. So when we talk about, where we are in this market right now, we are seeing an incredible opportunity that individuals are just way too fearful to take the step and actually buy. I know that we could go lower, and I'm actually going to be addressing those target points on why we can go lower. And the reason why I bring up March of 2020 is that level right there, right, is the level that we are watching for. March of 2020. I'm actually going to be showing you guys exactly why. Now, that time was a generational bottom. It was a perfect opportunity to get into this market because, again, what ended up happening after that time, it was incredible. We've seen multiple 10, 100x plus moves in this market. XRP obviously wasn't an incredible opportunity simply because of the SEC stifling innovation, because we were honestly on our way to do an incredible run, and then the SEC came in and really kind of just dumped the market in terms of XRP. So let's just jump in and let's talk about a few things. So Fear and Greed Index, 8, the lowest that I've ever really kind of seen this at, is now on the screen. This gets updated in 18 hours. I believe that this is actually going to get worse, and I'm actually going to be talking to you guys about why. In terms of Bitcoin, I do believe that we have one last major capitulation wick intact for us. The reason for this is because of what is happening this week. I'm actually going to be talking to you guys about it. And I actually made a tweet about this earlier saying, I'd love to see a capitulation wick down into the mid to high teens on Bitcoin before bouncing back strongly. Now, what was the point of this tweet? Well, it's simply because, right, we go back to March of 2020. And as you guys do see, yes, we've settled on the 200 weekly average. Moving average, sorry, similar to what we are seeing right now within this market. As you guys do see, we have that nice little wick down below it, and of course we do see the 200 weekly moving average being targeted almost identically perfectly to what we did see back here in March of 2020. Now, the reason why I bring up lower and the reason why I bring up the mid-teens is because of the 300 weekly moving average. Here we have the 300 weekly moving average in yellow down here, and you do see exactly where we kind of came down to. We missed it slightly. We missed the 300 weekly moving average by roughly, 2.52%. Now, if we do try to wick down to that point, which I do believe that we will see a slight wick down to that area, we don't have to go too low. I would say even the 19K area would be welcoming. That would be, testing like the December, sort of almost time frame demand area, as you guys do see here. With even like the 18K area being something to really kind of look at. But honestly, even if we do have like a slight, miss of like 2% or so, we're looking at like roughly like around the 17K zone for Bitcoin. I'd love to see the 17K area to really kind of be tested. And the reason why I believe that we could see that is we kind of look at this area and it would be like a 75.60% drop in price. Mind you, even off of the nice high wicks back in like roughly like 2019 to the March of 2020 lows, this was about a 71.95% drop. And I'm actually not even on the topping point of this. It's like roughly 72%. This would be a slightly, more downside move. But even like I said, if we miss this by a couple percentages, it's nothing too bad. It would be like about a 75% drop altogether on Bitcoin, which would be 100% welcoming to me. Now, of course, I believe that a lot of individuals are going to call for much lower on this. Simply how we've seen back here, individuals calling for $3,000 and even lower, because again, like this would be, for an example, like 84% would be $2,000 almost in terms of a bear market. And I do think that everybody's going to call much lower on Bitcoin. They're going to call down to like 10K. We're already kind of seeing 10K being thrown out there because this is 84%. This is basically the bear market structure. And I don't believe that we go that low. I believe that our low, or our major low bottom on Bitcoin, will be between that 16.5K zone to roughly even around like the 17K area. So that is my bottoming range on Bitcoin. And this is why I've said I wouldn't, mind seeing that capitulation wick. Now, where will XRP basically come down to within that range? Well, we have been addressing a few target points. I just shared with you guys the other day, 27 cents is where I'm really kind of looking to buy majorly for XRP. Within that 27-cent zone, down to roughly the 236, which by the way, just so that you guys know, that 236 area, as you guys do see, is roughly 24 cents. 24 to 27 cents is a perfect accumulation zone for me. I will take that gladly. And again, remember that that is actually off of the high that we recently put in place in April. Around that range would be an 88 to almost 86% drop on XRP. And I know a lot of people will say, like, we're coming down 90%, we're coming down to like 18, almost 19 cents. And is that possible? Yeah, sure. But I do believe that this is a perfect accumulation zone for me personally. Now, of course, Bitcoin and even XRP's RSI is the most that's been oversold in a very long time. On the 1 month for XRP, we're not at the most oversold that we've been. We're basically around the March of 2020 timeframe RSI. On Bitcoin, in terms of the 1 month, we are at the most oversold area that we've seen in history on Bitcoin. And that is basically what's being said here. Worst Bitcoin monthly RSI ever, 43.7. Bottom January 2019, 3,400. RSI 43.9. Bottom January 2015. Bitcoin $210. RSI 44.6. And when we really kind of look at this and address this, could the bottom be in for Bitcoin? It's possible, but I believe that that nice wick down will cause a massive capitulation in this market that we really kind of need, and ultimately it will really kind of take the major fear that we have been really kind of looking for within this market to a whole new level and really kind of shake out some weak hands. So I do believe that that nice next major wick will be down to the teen area. And again, you do still see that 300 weekly moving average labeled on the chart on that 0.5 fib level. Now, I'm also looking at the stocks futures. I do believe that we will have a nice pump tomorrow. Now, do not, and I say do not, FOMO in on a pump. And the reason why I say this is like we might have a nice little recovery on Bitcoin. We might see stocks kind of open green. Everybody's going to say this is it. The bottom's in for Bitcoin. The turnaround. We're going to the moon. Blah, blah, blah. I don't believe that that is the case. In fact, I actually think that these markets are going to crash a little bit more. And the reason why I say that is because of this. The Fed needs to raise rates as quickly as possible to tame inflation by sending us into a recession where they can then cut rates to save us from the recession. Now, why or how will this work? Well, we look at the, rate hike increases. So far, we've been at like 50 basis points, right? BPS. Now, when we look at this, we do see how Wall Street might respond to a 75 basis point rate hike. Now, a lot of people will say that this is actually priced in. We do see down here within this that you're seeing markets pricing in a 29.2% chance of this. So the markets are priced in at almost 30% that a 0.75% point increase will happen. In my opinion, I think that this will cause a sell-off in the markets and lead to that capitulation wick happening this week, with our bottom officially being in on Bitcoin. Now, With this in mind, as we do see the 75% basis point, we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I do expect the 0.75% rate hike to increase. And when we talk about this, and when we talk about things happening around this market, this to me is going to be the perfect catalyst for crypto and stocks to actually pump. And you guys might be wondering, what are you talking about? Well, we will see the max fear, targeted. We will see that mass capitulation. Bitcoin will essentially lead down to the 300 moving average weekly to roughly the 16.5K zone. We will see stocks take that last leap of faith. And, ultimately, we will see, this week, the capitulation hit the highest point that we've seen, because we're basically already at, the highest, fear levels that we've seen in history, in my opinion. And again, Bitcoin's RSI extremely oversold on the monthly high, the lowest that we've been at in terms of RSI in history. As more and more individuals on Twitter, get fearful. I think that this will be the last major shakeout event, simply before we have that nice relief rally. Now, the reason why I actually welcome the 0.75% is because that is the Fed pivoting. And when the Fed is pivoting, that is the time to really kind of analyze and address the market and really kind of take a step back and have a plan. Because when the Fed pivots, that is when I'm going to ape in massively. And I'm actually going to welcome this. And this is also not the only article that we have been seeing about the Fed actually increasing their rates. We actually do see from CNBC, this goes back to June 10th on Friday. The Fed will raise rates in the week ahead, but what Chair Powell says may matter most. Again, pay attention to 0.75% being, again, the rate hike increase. Now, of course, this is on Wednesday, 2:30 p.m. ET. We do also have a meeting on Tuesday from the Fed, aka today, but it's nothing too in depth on things like this. But I want you guys to understand and pay attention to this moment in time, because again, this is going to be, and I know that people have been saying this for the longest time, the last major sell-off event. And like I said, I don't believe that we come down to for an example, like 10K, just simply because there is a demand area here, but it's nothing too, demanding in my opinion for a major support bottom. Again, I don't believe that we will see this 84% drop. I do think that we will see, some capitulation here, similar to what we did see back in, March of 2020. And the funny thing is that this, the major thing around this that could play perfectly into us really kind of, going all the way down to these levels is one, we have been seeing, for an example, I actually retweeted it. It was Celsius liquidation events. It basically, so here it is. So these, yeah, I'm not going to say the word, are gambling with your money. If you're locked out of your Celsius account, this is why. So the CEO can go full degen and roll one last time. What a sad event. And I don't want to see this happen. I don't want to see capitulation happen on these basically collateralized APY, if you will, because this is actually individuals, customer money that is locked in Celsius. But the liquidation price is now at 17.2K, and I do believe that people are targeting this. And there's 23.4K wrapped Bitcoin locked in the vault, and this is pretty interesting. It's also concerning to me. And when we talk about this, right, the thing that really kind of will lead us to that, mass sell-off is the fact that, first off, we will break the previous bull run all-time high for the first time in history of Bitcoin, which is at 20.1K. We will break that for the first time in history, and that is where we will see, people saying, all right, it's game over, it's done, crypto's dead, we broke the all-time high of a bull run for the first time in history, it's over. But that is going to cause a massive sell-off, and we'll probably see liquidations happening. I don't believe, we will come down, past this level of 16.5K. It is possible with liquidations, but I'm going to be watching this closely to see if we have a strong bounce around this area or not. But I want to just warn you guys ahead that things are adding up perfectly around this level to see mass capitulation and mass fear levels to be really targeted. So just prepare ahead of time, have some capital on the sidelines to buy this dip, And with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. Sorry. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day or beautiful night. Wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.